Public Image Limited, sometimes shortened to PIL, are a British rock band formed in 1978 by John Lydon. So he was in the Sex Pistols using the stage name Johnny Rotten, and when he left, he formed this other band, PIL, which were conceived as being an experimental rock band. Over the years, they have become more mainstream. They've had a lot of member changes, except for John Lydon, and they have produced 10 studio albums. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the 5th album by PIL. I know of them. I've known of them for years. I wouldn't say I'd particularly listened to much. I know their big hit Rise, which is on this album. But this is, other than that, my first listen to this album. It's an interestingly titled album in that if you get it on vinyl, it's called album. If you get it on cassette, it's called cassette. If you get it on compact disc, it's called compact disc. And if you get it on MP3, it's called MP3. And it's deliberately packaged to look like basic supermarket ranges that were becoming quite popular about that sort of time. And in fact, the packaging of this album deliberately mimics that of a range from Ralph's supermarket chain in the USA. There's some interesting musicians on this album. So it is a PIL album, but at the point in time when it was made, the only member of PIL who actually was on the album is John Lydon. He basically decided that the band weren't actually good enough at that point. He just replaced everybody. And he thought it was just going to be too expensive to have them kind of mucking about in the studio, and so went down the session musician route. There's a whole lot of names here, but the two that jumped out at me are Steve Vai, who's an amazing, mostly metal guitarist, who used to work with Frank Zappa and has done some really interesting solo stuff. And Ginger Baker is a drummer who was the drummer for Cream and various other bands. So it's rock. It's kind of very steady-paced rock. It mostly has this kind of one feel, this one speed. It's solid and it's danceable. In fact, most of it is in the same key, and you could even kind of claim that it's the same chord for a lot of the album. The drums are a particular focus here. I think they're deliberately kind of sound garagey. They kind of got this echoey sound to them, and they're really kind of solid with it. It kind of reminds me of Led Zeppelin style drumming. And then on top of that, there's some interesting ornamentation. There's some kind of fairly normal instruments going on, bass and guitar and stuff, but there are other things in here like seashells and didgeridoo and hand drums and stuff, so there's occasionally a bit of a kind of world music feel to it. The vocals are, John Lydon has a very particular and idiosyncratic way of delivering stuff. It's not hugely musical, but it is very iconic and recognizable. It's kind of, quite a lot of it is half sung, half spoken, and he somewhat rambles, but this is part of the point. This is what he does. The subject matter is kind of vague mostly. It's very it's kind of this mixture between slightly cheeky and slightly positive and nihilistic, which is kind of John Lydon's, I don't know what he's really like, but that's his public persona, is this kind of cross between a rebel and a cheeky cockney kind of character. So he's definitely got a sense of humour in there, but there's also definitely kind of subversive elements as well. Not strongly by today's standards, I would say, but if you're kind of into your late 70s punk and stuff and light rock, you might enjoy this quite a lot. I found it to be a reasonable listen. I enjoyed it a reasonable amount. I'm not sure I'd rush out and buy a copy, but I wouldn't object to listening to it again at all. I might even seek it out to listen again. What do you think? Please let me know. I love to read your comments, and that's it from me for now.